The Dominion's flagship, Varakath Eternal, hung over the broken remains of Kelenfer, its hull shimmering in the dying light of a sun dimmed by orbital bombardment. Below, the once green human colony burned in silence. Oceans boiled to mist, cities cracked into glass. Fleet Commander Jarkul watched the devastation unfold with detached satisfaction. Efficient, he mused, his voice a low rumble through the translator. 17 minutes, and the human infestation is cleansed. His second-in-command, a smaller avian species named Relka, gave a rasping laugh. The Council will be pleased. Earth's colonies grow too bold, speaking of independence, of equality. Now they will learn obedience. Jarkul turned from the viewport. Obedience, he repeated, tasting the word. They were given a seat at the Council. They were offered civilization. But the primitives still think themselves free. The fleet around him pulsed with triumph, hundreds of warships orbiting the ruined world, their engines glowing like predatory eyes. The Council's decree had been clear. Humanity must remember its place. The attack was broadcast live across the galactic network. Billions watched in real time as the humans' colony, Kelenfu, a jewel world on the galactic rim, was vaporized. The Dominion called it a disciplinary measure. To them, it was a lesson. To Earth, it was an atrocity. But at that moment, the Council felt only satisfaction. Jarkul stood tall on his command bridge, gazing at the drifting ash clouds, and declared, "Let this be a warning. The humans will kneel, or they will burn." The words echoed through the network, and across the stars, humanity heard. The silence before the storm days passed. Then weeks. The galaxy waited for Earth's reply. None came. Council propagandists took the silence as submission. They filled the channels with laughter, mocking the Terran restraint. "The humans hide behind words," said one Dominion broadcast. "Their fleets are outdated. Their armies are obsolete. They bark loudly, but they will not bite." In the halls of the Galactic Council, the ambassadors of the core worlds smirked when the Terran envoy failed to appear. A chair sat empty, the flag of Earth folded neatly upon it. Ambassador Xi of the Solari Confederacy raised her glass. "The Terrans always claim to value peace," she said. "Perhaps they've finally learned humility." Even the Council's Grand Speaker, a serpentine being whose word shaped empires, proclaimed it settled. "Earth will comply," he declared. "They always do." But there were those who watched the silence and felt something else. Something cold. The ardent clans remembered the Terran Wars. The centuries when Earth had burned its way across the void to carve out its own place. The Rim traders recalled the stories of Sol's fleets, ships forged from the bones of planets, crews who fought without fear of death. And deep within the archives of the Dominion's intelligence network, one old admiral whispered to his aide, "If the humans are quiet, it is because they are sharpening their knives." Still, the Council laughed. Still, the Dominion celebrated. Jarkul was promoted, his name etched into the annals of obedience. His fleet was recalled to the core worlds for commendation. Banners hung, speeches were made. The galaxy's rulers believed they had broken Earth. They could not have been more wrong. 3. When the silence broke, it began 3 months later. A transmission, short, clear, and human, cut through every frequency used by the Council's fleets. It carried no threat, no plea, no negotiation, just 6 words. "This transmission marks your reckoning." Then the stars changed. First came the disappearances. Dominion patrols vanishing in the void. Entire squadrons lost without distress signals. Then came the blackouts. Communications. Arrays fried, jump relays shut down, entire sectors falling silent. The Council dismissed them as malfunctions, until the first wreckage was found. A Dominion cruiser, split neatly in half. No survivors. Hull torn open by weapons no one could identify. The internal logs showed one final image. A shadow emerging. From hyperspace. Angular, black, and marked with the insignia of a blue-white circle. A Terran symbol. Earth fleet. The panic spread fast. Border colonies were evacuated. Trade lanes sealed. The Dominion scrambled fleets to intercept the unknown attackers. But then, the Terrans spoke again. Their signal flooded every major communication channel across the galaxy. No encryption, No pretense. Just a single human voice, steady, calm, and merciless. You struck a colony under our flag. You called it a lesson. Now, you will learn ours. The Council wanted our obedience. Earth sends its defiance. And then the stars themselves seemed to roar. Hundreds of signatures erupted across the galactic rim. Ships, vast and silent, emerging from slipspace. Terran dreadnoughts, battleships, carriers, black-armored giants bristling with weapons unseen for generations. They bore names carved into legend. Resolute. Vengeance. Iron Dawn. The Armstrong Spear. Each one was a fortress, kilometers long, with hulls plated in carbon-titanium composites capable of shrugging off starfire. For centuries, humanity had remained quiet, their fleets hidden, their shipyards veiled. They had smiled at the Council's condescension. They had bowed at the Dominion's arrogance. But they had never stopped building. Never stopped preparing. Now the galaxy realized the truth. Earth's silence had not been surrender. It had been the drawing of breath before the scream. IV, the wrath of Earth. The first strike came at the Dominion homeworld of Varkul Prime. Planetary shields, once thought impenetrable, shattered in minutes under the focused barrage of orbital mass drivers. The sky turned white as Terran kinetic. Slugs, tungsten rods moving at near-relativistic speeds, punched through the atmosphere and into the surface below. Continents broke. Oceans vaporized. The Dominion's vaunted orbital fleet, 3,000 ships, never even breached firing range. They were annihilated by precision salvos launched from beyond sensor distance. Human warships moved like predators, their formations exact, their silence absolute. Every transmission from them carried a single message: justice for Keelan 4. In the Council Core, chaos reigned. The Grand Speaker called emergency sessions, demanding Earth stand down. None of his messages reached Sol. Every attempt to contact Terran diplomats was met with one cold reply: your authority no longer extends to humanity. By the time the Council realized the scale of Earth's mobilization, it was too late. Terran fleets had already breached 5 sectors. They didn't occupy. They didn't negotiate. They eradicated. The worlds that had celebrated Kellenfi's destruction were the first to fall. Orbital rings were melted. Shipyards turned to slag. Capital cities, once shining beacons of arrogance, became craters glowing in the dark. Every strike was calculated, surgical, unrelenting. And then came the ground forces. They called them the Legions of Sol. Genetically enhanced soldiers, armor black as void, eyes burning with synthetic fire. They descended in drop pods that hit like meteors, emerging from the smoke like ghosts of vengeance. Entire alien battalions surrendered on sight, their weapons clattering to the ground. The Terrans didn't speak. They simply moved forward, methodical and unstoppable. Jarkul, once the proud conqueror of Keelan IV, watched his homeworld burn from the bridge of his retreating cruiser. His crew begged for orders. He could only whisper, "They were supposed to be civilized." His transmission ended when a Terran destroyer cut across his vector and reduced his ship to dust. The galaxy trembled. The ashes of Dominion. The war lasted 43 days. When it ended, the Dominion no longer existed. Their fleets were gone, erased. Their worlds lay in ruin, glassed and silent. Those who survived fled into the dark, too terrified to even whisper the word, Earth. The Council convened again, this time in fear. Delegates from 100 species arrived, trembling, hoping to negotiate peace. But when the Terran representative entered the chamber, the room fell silent. She wore no medals, no rank insignia, just a plain black uniform with the emblem of Sol on her sleeve. Her voice was calm as she spoke. You demanded obedience. You called us lesser. You killed our people to make an example. Now we are the example. She placed a single data crystal on the table. It contained every recording, every sensor log of the war, every burning world, every shattered fleet. Earth will not conquer you, she continued. We have no interest in your thrones or your trade, but remember this: the stars belong to no one, not to your council, not to your dominions. If you harm us again, if you even threaten a human life, there will be no negotiation. There will only be silence. Then she left. No guards, no escort. Just quiet steps echoing in the chamber of trembling empires. Outside, the remnants of the Terran Armada waited. Ships larger than cities, their hulls gleaming in the light of the Council's capital star. One by one, they turned and jumped away, vanishing into slipspace, and with them went the promise and the threat of humanity's vengeance. The weight of fear in. The years that followed, the galaxy changed. No one attacked human colonies again. No pirate dared raid Terran convoys. No Council fleet crossed the Sol exclusion zone. The region of space humanity claimed as its own. Children across the stars grew up with a new proverb, whispered like a prayer: never provoke Earth. Even centuries later, the memory of those 43 days lingered. The images of burning skies, of fleets swallowed by the black, haunted every species that had once mocked the Terrans. And deep in the archives of every world, sealed behind layers of encryption, lay a file shared across the galactic network. It was a simple recording, taken from an abandoned Dominion outpost during the war's first days. It showed a Terran commander standing before his troops, voice steady, eyes cold. They thought we'd forgotten how to fight. They thought peace made us weak. They were wrong. We gave them centuries of mercy. Now, they will have minutes of hell. The file's name was the same as the words that had shaken the stars. The words that became legend. A warning, a creed. The Council wanted our obedience. Earth sent its defiance. Epilogue. The echo of vengeance, far beyond the galactic rim. Where Terran fleets once gathered, a monument now floats in the void. A ring of alloy and stone, inscribed with a single phrase in every known language. For Kellanth 4. For the fallen, for those who believed patience was weakness. Below it, carved into the metal by human hands, lies a final warning to the universe. We do not start wars. We finish them. And as the ring turns slowly in the starlight, the galaxy remembers. Because vengeance fades with time, but Earth's defiance endures forever.